In this lesson, we'll continue to work on the ant's charge-in. Before we move on to those back legs, I'd like to make a few quick tweaks to the left leg. If you notice, as the ant is anticipating the charge, see that the leg is actually sliding forward, and that shouldn't happen till the ant starts to actually move forward. So what we'll do is take the pose on frame 100 and actually add that to, or move it to 106, one frame after the anticipation when the ant actually starts to move forward. So he moves back and then starts to move forward. And as he does, now the leg has been corrected to move at the right time. What we also want to do is on 109, take this leg and just plant it. And then we can, from there, middle click on 113, press Shift W so it will stay in that spot. Okay, great. From here, let's go ahead and move on to the back legs. We could start with the back right leg. And first off, we'll go to its pole vector, that's sliding forward, and just bring that back a little bit more on 100. Okay, so looking at this, we will have it start to move forward after that right leg has stomped down. So right after it's stomped down, we'll go one frame after, and that's when we'd want the leg to actually start moving forward. So let's take this key on 100. Let's move that to 105. Of the, not the pole vector, but the actual foot control. Let's move it to 105. So it stomps down. And let's have it start to move forward. That right or the left leg plants at 109, so we could have the back right leg plant 110. Move that forward. And we'll take its pole vector and move that back. Okay, now it's really starting to press forward. Let's go ahead and take this pose on 110, middle click on 115, set it for the foot control. I've also set it for the pole vector. Right leg comes in, steps down at 113. Left leg comes in and steps down at 115, and then we'd want the right leg to step down about a frame after. So 116, we'll move it forward, and we'll see if we could adjust some of our keys, which we'll definitely need to do. So we'll take the key on 115 and maybe move that back a couple of frames. So we moved it to 113. And it plants on 116. Maybe we could have it move up a little bit closer and out. And also make sure that it's planted. Alright, now is where the insect lands on the box. So what we'll do here is have the ant hold for a few frames, maybe to 120. So we'll middle click from 116 to 120. And once he plants on the box with that left front leg, you can see how it would look if we shift that back. Let's see, it might even look better to shift it back after the right leg has planted on the box as well. So we'll take the keys from frames 120 to 125 and let's shift those back. So the right leg plants on 124. We can go ahead and move key 120 to 125, move that so that the key on 120 now lies on 125. Then we could have it shift back for some nice natural offset. and so it's actually visible. Let's go ahead and take that key on 130 and maybe modify the pose, moving that back some more. And then we'll middle click on 135, Shift W. Okay, we'll need to fix that gaster because it's not deforming right as it comes in, but we'll get to that. Let's see how this looks. Hide our controls, hit play, see if we like what we're getting. Okay, so it almost looks like the leg can move forward a little bit more at about 116. Go ahead and select the control and have it move forward because he's really moving at quick speeds and he's trying to push himself forward as fast as he can, so he's going to take a little bit bigger steps. So at 116, we'll middle click on 125, press Shift W. Alright, I think that's going to look better. Let's modify the pole vector for that leg. 115, we'll just bring that forward. And hit play. Great. Okay, well, looks like that back leg for the most part is good to go on the right side. So we'll move on to the left and work on fixing this up. So on 100, let's actually keep that foot planted to about 109 or even 110, so it's offset from the right leg moving forward. Can take the pose on 100 and move that to 110. Make sure that the leg isn't extending too bad. We still want some interesting line of actions, some interesting poses, so can leave it as is. And then on let's say about 114, we can take the key on 115, move it back, and then have that leg start to move in. And then we'll have it plant to 116. So 114, middle click on 116. And then on 114, we'll go to its pole vector and bring that up. We need to tweak it on 100 too, so let's bring that back. We get kind of a snap because of the key on 115, so we could always delete it. There we go. So it steps in. Right leg plants until, we'll look at the left leg. We have that planted until 116, and now it needs to move forward. So we'll have that happen on 118. Let's move forward a little bit more. A little more into the body. And let's see if we can keep this pose there. We'll middle click from 118 to 125. We need to bring the leg up on 118. Excuse me if I said 115. What's the difference anyway, right? Alright, so once we have the pose on 118, we'll middle click on 125, press Shift W. Okay, so he's using his legs to support as he's climbing up onto the crate, or to really boost himself as he climbs up to the crate. Okay, and we'll leave that leg planted for a little bit longer. We won't have it offset just yet. What will actually have happen is have it offset just before the character starts to come back. So we'll just take the pose on 125 all the way to about 135, and let's bring those down so it lands on 135. Then on 145, we'll take that and move that to about 140. Let's see how that looks. Alright, hitting play. It might work because we're going to want the character to hold a little bit longer here in the attack before he moves back. So that might work well for us. So we'll leave it as is. And let's say we stop the lesson, move on to the next lesson where we work on the middle legs, and we'll also see if we can start adding those in-betweens to have the feet stomp down. So we can move on to the final section for the legs and begin to start adding some in-betweens and subtleties to the upper body.